Hello, so this is going to be a video on this LED conversion Maglite, because quite a few people were asking about these on one of Weaponcollectors streams, I think it was, and because I've got one really like it, I thought I'd actually do a video explaining a bit more about them. So these aren't the official Maglite ones that come with an LED bulb, because you can buy those, but I think they're quite expensive for what they are. What these are is you get a standard Maglite, and it would probably work on Maglite style clone torches, I imagine, if those exist. But, you know, this is a proper Maglite. Maglite Mag Instrument, Ontario, Canada. It says Ontario, CA, but then USA. Unless it means Ontario, Canada, and USA. But anyway, so, Maglite, you know. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with Maglite. This, I think, is the 4D cell Maglite I've got here. So if we open it up. What this is a Maglite where it's now got an LED bulb in it. So if I turn that on, you can see how bright that is. And that's sort of a modern LED. And these are very, very easy to install. All that you literally do is remove the old bulb, put a little collar on this, and then pop this in. And that's all there is to it. So what you do need to do though is make sure you get one that's the right voltage for the Maglites you're using. Now this is quite easy because they normally just say it on the number of batteries you're using for your Maglite. So for example, this, as I said, I think is the 4D. We'll get the battery compartment open in a second and have a look. But how essentially these bulbs work for the people who are really sort of, you know, not clued up on these is they have a voltage, and the more batteries, the more voltage basically. So it's normally 1.5 volts for every sort of typical AA, you know, D-cell battery and all things like that. So if we open that, obviously you've got your big clunky spring compartment. Oh no, this is a 2D Maglite, sorry, not a 4D. So yeah, this only takes 2D cells. So I've got rechargeable ones in here. Now these are actually 1.2 volts, not 1.5 volts, but it doesn't matter. But basically when you buy these LED bulbs, you need to make sure you buy the ones that are, you know, compatible with the amount of batteries you're putting in there. Because, for example, if you bought a one that was for a 6D Maglite, one of the huge Maglites, because that would be taking 6 batteries, so then it'd be 6 times 1.5, you know, that's going to be, what, 3 volts for 2 batteries, so 9 volts, I imagine? It must be 9 volts if you've got 6 batteries in there. What if you bought one of those bulbs and putting it in like a Maglite like this, it wouldn't even power on, or if it did, it would be very dim because there wouldn't be enough voltage going to it. I don't know if any of these bulbs would burn out, for example, if you put the one like in this one inside a 6D Maglite, but they normally say which ones they're for. Now, because D-cells are expensive, I know that, what you can do, because I thought this would be interesting for some people to include in the video as well, you can buy these pretty cheaply online, and what they are is they're D-size spacers, which let you put basically AA's, for example, in a D-size battery type thing with the contacts. So I've got 2 rechargeable AA batteries in there, just to prove this works. Pop those in, put that spring on there. These aren't as good as using actual D-cells because obviously there's less capacity in the battery itself, but in terms of voltage, let's flick the Maglite back on. Ah, now that's interesting. I don't know if it's because it's not making a good contact that's not working. It should do, because everything I've used these in, they've been fine, unless the batteries have gone flat. But, yeah, what the issue is that there, the spring isn't quite making contact with the bottom battery. So that is something to be aware of. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I've got one of the spacer ones in there. Let's put one of these batteries in there just to prove that, you know, they do work. But the issue is you might have to modify the spring at the bottom if you're using those. And I don't know if you can see that. That's when it was making contact there just then, it came on. Yeah, there you go. As I said, you know, these aren't actually as good as using proper D-cells. In terms of, because mainly the main issue is that an actual proper D-cell has a lot more capacity. So, you know, for all the people asking how good are these LED bulbs for Maglites, they're fantastic. Obviously you can get different ones, so if you bought a crap one, it might not be as good, but lots of people really like Maglites. Now, I don't know what the lumen output is on these because, you know, lots of people who sell these types of bulbs all put completely bullshit numbers on, you know, for how bright the lumens actually are. So, I always hate trying to get these springs back on. There we go, you have to keep them under tension and not cross-thread them. There you go. So there's that, but they are very bright. So what I'm just going to do now is just show you how much it lights up the room if I turn all the lights off, have the curtains closed and everything. because you can see pretty far with this. This is definitely, I'd say, as bright as some of the more expensive through-night torches and that I've been sent in the past. Obviously it's a lot bigger, but you know, you think this is a 2D Maglite. So I'd be very interested to see what a 4 or 6D Maglite would do with the equivalent bulb for one of those in there. So yeah, let's flick the lights off, and then I'll demonstrate just how bright this is. I have shown this before in videos, but you know, I think some people haven't seen those, so they might find this interesting. Right, so there you go. Hopefully you can see how bright that spot is there. It's really bright. In terms of how much it lights up a room, if you had this pointed sort of in a similar way to how a ceiling light would work, it's not too far off having a single sort of 60 watt, 100 watt bulb in a room, something like that. Not as good as like modern LED bulbs. Also, you do get a bit of a dead spot. I don't know if you can see that. Like obviously, where it's there on the door, that's fine. But if I shine it further away, you end up getting a bit of like a dead spot in the middle there. There's not really much you can do about that. It's just how it obviously shows the light inside through the reflection mechanism. But yeah, if you've got an old Maglite, definitely get an LED upgrade for them, especially if you've already got the Maglite, so you're not even buying the Maglite separately. I think it was Laser Point Production at the time who's donated a lot to the channel over the years, asked me could I get one of these, and I'm really glad I did, so thank you to him for recommending these. Because, you know, I've wanted a Maglite for ages. I think we've probably got one or two in the shed or something, but you know, you can never find them for looking. And I just wanted to have, you know, a proper Maglite with a good LED bulb in because of how robust these are as torches, you know. Maglites, I think the main reason people like Maglites is just how well made they are and robust. You know, you're never going to think, oh, I'm going to drop a Maglite, it might break. So there's that. I imagine that, like saying the Maglites that take loads of D-cells are going to be really, really bright. But as I said, this is only actually a 2D Maglite upon opening it. I thought it was a 4D, but no, it's a 2D. And yeah, these work fine on rechargeable batteries because people are asking about that. When I've tried it with regular D-cells, which are 1.5 volts, I couldn't see much in the difference with brightness. So it's probably more down to battery charge and everything. Because I know of a lot of rechargeables, sometimes they tend to go up in voltage, don't they? When they're fully charged, I think. But anyway, regardless, the point is that, you know, you can do them with that. In theory, you can run them with these. The issue is that, you know, they're not perfect. You might have to find some way of making like a little base cap for these. But, you know, I'd say just if you do get one of these Maglites, that probably just take the plunge, buy a decent quality, you know, set of 4 D-cells and a charger for them. It might set you back 40 quid or something. But then, you know, you've got a torch where the battery's going to last for ages and it's going to give off a lot of light. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you can see from that that that's the only light on in the room. And yeah, the you know, it is really bright. And I said if you were using this for some sort of security purpose, you know, it makes the Maglite a hell of a lot brighter, which is obviously good for your safety because you can see, you know, whatever you're doing a lot better. So there you go.